Tonight on BBC One.
Good evening and welcome to a New Year's Eve highlights show that's bound to stir up memories in every viewer of how much more fun they were having this time last year.
Have I Got 2001 for you tonight at 10:30 on BBC One.
Party with Michael Parkinson next. It's the night of 1,000 shows, and BBC One's back in Holby City next Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
She will do anything to win the part.
I will have adventure.
Are you a lady, Mr. Kent?
He will do anything to win her love.
Who is she?
Are you bringing your laundry, woman?
You may call me Miss Wilhelmina.
Together, they're an unbeatable combination.
There's something better than a play.
The multi-Oscar-winning network premiere of Shakespeare in Love.
Wonderful.
A winner in every sense.
Takes a woman to know it.
New Year's Day at 9:30 on BBC One.
So it's a year with the boys. Have I Got 2001 for you in an hour on BBC One? But now it's back to the year 2000, when the best venue in the biz celebrated the Big 4-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host for this evening, Michael Parkinson.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the BBC Television Centre for a celebration of the BBC Television Centre. It's 40 years since this building turned out its first programme, since when many of the greatest productions in the history of British television have been made right here. Tonight we're joined by some of the people who worked here and who created unforgettable moments. Because I'm the host, I'm going to get my memories in first. I made well over 400 shows in this building, and they still think I'm Michael Aspel. I don't joke, I kid you not. To me, the Television Centre is not a factory making television. It's a wishing well where dreams come true. I mean, you can't call it work, and all you're required to do is sit opposite a beautiful, witty woman, laugh at the funniest man on the planet, and meet one of the world's most extraordinary human beings.
I think you're a great flirt. I love it too, by the way. You know.
But I mean,
that's important because a lot of male chauvinist pigs don't like to flirt. So I think the flirting part of it eases the pain of the fact that you are a male chauvinist.
You think?
Are we starting yet? I'm tuning. Sorry. I'm trying. He's got a roadie naked over there. It's nearly tuned, Mr. Sting. Mr. Sting, can I have a day off? Get to your work.
Champion of the whole world. It sounded big then. So I kept working until I did. And not only the champion of the whole world, but better than all of those before me.
I'm not going to argue with you.
You're not as dumb as you look.
Some man. TV Centre first opened its doors on the 29th of June 1960, since when it's been blown up by the goodies, attacked by Michael Bentine, and endured the world's largest and longest ever live broadcast this last millennium eve. In many ways, its greatest ordeal came on opening night 40 years ago. Who will ever forget it? Truly, there's no business like show business. when they tell you TV was better in the old days, just show them that. The television centre itself was dreamed up in 1949 when the first sketches were done on the back of an envelope, and there are many who believe the plans never progressed beyond that level. It was the world's first custom-built TV production house. It took 9 years to complete, probably because the builders couldn't get past security. You tried. The studio audience on that first night 40 years ago consisted of the men who'd actually built the TV centre. And some of them are still here tonight, still trying to find their way out. In fact, more than 250,000 people a year come to watch shows being made here. And quite a lot of them have got no idea what's going on.
We were doing a French and Saunders show in front of the audience, like we always did. And we noticed that all of the hilarious jokes that we'd written, gags and japes, weren't getting quite the response we'd hoped for. And we thought, oh, we've obviously just forgotten how to do comedy at all. And it was very odd, the response, because we'd tell the joke, then there would be a sort of mumble, and then a delay, and then a ha noise as we started the next joke. I thought it was very odd, we were getting the timing wrong, we were doing it all wrong. So we started to delay all the jokes until the noise came in. And we realised at the end that it's actually an entirely Spanish audience, and their interpreter had to interpret the jokes, and then they would laugh. But nobody told us that beforehand. It was terrible. It was pretty bad, yeah.
Well, let's now meet another of the great stars who worked here and who knows more than most about the pleasures and perils of Television Centre. Please welcome Bruce Forsyth.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Nice job.
Memories of this place.
Memories of this place, yes. Memories, well, I've got an unusual one because I was actually chucked out of the BBC club.
Ah, that wasn't difficult to do, I'll tell you.
I'd been with my agent, who was Morecambe and Wise's agent, Billy Marsh, who was passed away, no longer with us. And we went to see Bill Cotton. We had a meeting with Bill Cotton about getting some more money, and we nearly got it. Well, you know what Bill was like, yes. So anyway, we went up to the club, and we were walking through, and there was a guy on the door now, and he was very thick-set with a great big beard in the uniform. Do you remember him? Do you remember the guy? Yeah. And he said, are you a member? He looked at me. I said, no, as a matter of fact, I'm not a member. I said, can I make one phone call? It's like being arrested. So I phoned up Bill Cotton. Bill, is this true, Bill? Nod your head. Oh, he's asleep. Never mind. But if there's any producer here tonight, or any director that happens to be a member of the BBC club, I am available.
Bruce Forsyth, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, over the years, TV Centre itself has featured in many programmes. Here now, the Night of 1,000 Shows guided tour of BBC Television Centre.
Her Majesty the Queen is on her way to the Television Centre to let the nation know what they can expect from their screens in the coming year.
The opening another show.
Now she's approaching the gate to be identified, and like any 60-year-old lady in the land, she proudly shows him her bus pass.
Do you remember Joanna Lumley? Joanna Light? We rehearsed 2, 3, 4, cue. Cue.
Vine gets thicker here. I seem to be in some form of a courtyard, perhaps the inner courtyard of a temple. Up ahead of me, I can see the figure of the sun god.
Hello, I'm Elton John. I'm here to do the Morecambe and Wise show.
Oh, yes. Mr. Morecambe and Mr. Wise told me to give you this message.
Oh, thank you.
Dear Elephant, please go to room. Please go to room 405.
Morning, comrade choreographer.
Morning, comrade Ducky Darling comedian.
It's the warmth and atmosphere that you generate here in the studio that makes all the difference. to laugh as loud as you like, and I'm sure we're all going to have a really super...
Well, sitting round for, haven't you got programmes to make? No, you're on the BBC gravy train. What I want. Take this cheese.
How did it go?
I've been battling.
Ask anybody what their all-time favourite TV shows are, and you can bet their list will include a few sitcoms. The very best reflect the absurdity of the human condition. And of the best, the TV Centre has made its fair share.
Greetings, good citizens. The prologue. Oh, dear.
Have you ever been to Wales, Warren?
No, but I've often thought I'd like to.
Well, don't. It's a ghastly place. Huge gangs of tough, sinewy men roam the valleys, terrifying people with their close harmony singing. You need half a pint of phlegm in your throat just to pronounce the place name.
Suffer from any illness? Bad feet. Suffer from any illness? Bad feet. Made a recent visit to a doctor or hospital? Only with me bad feet. Are you now, or have you at any time been a practising homosexual? What were these feet?
Fetch the gentleman's suit, Mr. Lucas.
One suit coming up, Mr. Granger.
I'll take the customer into the changing room, Mr. Granger. Put his clothes on a coat hanger.
And come straight back, mister. I've been thinking about her all night last night, Rodney. She's had a tough old life, you know. Her old man was a right roughhouse. All the other blokes that she's known before that were no better. And, you know, she's had nothing but bad luck. Then she met me.
Bloody hell, life's a bitch, isn't
it? Won't hurt. You'll just feel a slight prick on the end of your thumb.
Well, I'll bid you good day then. Thank you very much. If you want any more, don't hesitate to get in touch with me.
Where are you going?
Have me tea and biscuits.
Well, you came here to give us some of your blood.
Well, you just had it.
That's just a smear.
It may be just a smear to you, mate, but it's life and death to some poor.
Don't make a noise. Don't make any sound. Don't even breathe heavy. You understand? But good night.
Night.
You let me know then.
Reminder of some of the great performers and writers who worked in this very building. Now, while on the subject of humour, I'd like to quote a BBC memo from the 1970s. It's a report on the proposed first script of a new comedy, and it says this: "I'm afraid I thought this one as dire as its title. A collection of clichés and stock characters which I can't see being anything but a disaster." Some report, some disaster.
Oh, will you answer that, please? I'm trying to put this up.
40 Towers.
When Connie and I sat down to write, it took us 10 minutes to come up with 40 Towers because we just said, well, let's write about the hotel we stayed in Torquay, which was a real hotel called Glen Eagles. You know the men are coming to do some work here?
Oh, yes.
So you have to go to Glen Eagles for your din-dins tonight?
Yes.
Yes, and Polly will be in charge if you need anything.
Oh, we'll have a lovely weekend. And don't do anything we wouldn't do.
Oh, just a little breathing, surely. We never... On 40 Towers, we never completed a dress rehearsal. There was never time.
Don't panic! What else is there to do?
series of 40 Towers, writing and performing. This is mid-70s, which took me 43 weeks. Recording, filming, all the rest of it. I got £6,000.
If I find out the money on that horse was yours, you know what I'll do, Basil?
Gonna have to sew him back on first.
There was one scene when I had to bang on a door. The set kept shaking.
Leave him stand up. Wait up, wait up.
I used to get 2 hours in the studio, both for Python and 40 Towers. 2 hours is nothing. I mean, it was kind of guerrilla filmmaking.
Tell him if he doesn't get on the ball, you're going to bust his ass.
Bust his?
I'll tell him.
No, I'll tell him. Leave it to me.
Come on.
Thank you, God! Thank you so bloody much!
You're a naughty boy! Don't worry, a bit of cheese went the wrong way.
Of course, John Cleese started his comedy career in sketch shows, working alongside the likes of Ronnie Barker and Ronnie Corbett.
Oh, bit nippy over there, going for fall of snow. That's all we need.
I need 20p from you, Mr. Robbins.
Yeah, I got swear box in here now. Don't worry, have these on me. That's a good idea. Yeah, to the church. 5p a time, see? Quite right, too. By the time this lot did something from the church, yeah, dozy lot.
What will cost you 10p?
10p? You never told me that.
You never asked me. It's 5p for and 10.
Never mind all this rubbish. I'm standing here like a...
Please welcome the man of 1,000 faces, but only one name, the two Ronnies, Barker and Corbett. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh. Memories of this place. Is it true that all the time that you worked here, you never had an argument?
No. Actually, all the time we were doing the shows, 12, 15 years, we never once had an argument.
Yeah.
No.
Never?
No.
That's not strictly true, is it? That's not strictly true.
What do you mean?
It's not strictly true that we didn't have an argument, I'm saying. We didn't
have an argument.
We did.
We didn't.
We had a pretty...
We did not have an argument.
We had a...
He's joking.
We are joking.
Yes.
But what we did like... We worked in this studio.
This very studio?
This very studio.
Yes, indeed.
About a minute before the show started, we would sit on the desks.
Yes, we had this desk, you know, going right down to the floor, and I would say, well, yeah, this wonderful desk, I would say, can't see that my feet don't touch the ground. I used to say that.
And I used to say, I can't see where my stomach does. I used to sit on the cushion, actually, didn't I?
Yes, you did, yes.
I sat on the cushion because, actually, Ronnie is taller sitting down.
Than you are?
Than he is standing up. No, he is taller sitting down than I am.
Yes.
If we had chairs here, if you could have run to a few chairs, we could have demonstrated that. Yes, I had a cushion, and we were then... That made us level, didn't it?
Yes, indeed, yes. I promise not to do any small jokes, by the way.
No.
I'm going to do one. Just because... because I heard this week from the British Home Office...
Yes?
...that I'm the only citizen in the United Kingdom with a full-length picture of my passport.
OK, well, thank you both for coming along, and thank you for sharing your memories with us. Ronnie Barker, Ronnie Corbett.
Thank you very much.
Sketch shows such as the two Ronnies perfected have produced literally thousands of wonderful characters. Here's but a sample.
All right, I'll Kev.
Why, Perry? How was Manchester?
Yeah, you know, results sorted, top mad for it.
I won't tell another living soul this, of course. I'm approaching the change.
Approaching the change? From which direction?
David, what's wrong? You're as white as a sheet.
I have something to tell you, Babs.
Shall I go?
No, stay. And please come back, Mrs. O. What I have to say concerns everybody.
Queen looks nice, doesn't she?
Nice? Of course nice. Because she's Indian.
Not the Queen?
All of them, the whole royal family Indian.
Rubbish.
Not rubbish, look at them. Huh? They all live in the same family house together, Indian. All work in the family business, Indian. All have arranged marriages, Indian. They all have sons. Daughters no good, Indian. Children live with their parents until they are married, Indian. What more do you want? You want them to put on turbans and charm snakes out of baskets?
I may say so, your teaching methods do leave a bit to be desired. It's a little bit ungrateful, isn't it? And your diction, for instance, is
I'm
not
sorry,
really
can I put this into some sort of perspective? When I caught Gerald in '68, he was completely wild.
Wild? I was absolutely livid. I mean, such a twat in my life.
TV Centre is, of course, best known as a fun factory, a purveyor of mirth and entertainment, but it does have a serious side to it.
75 feet. Car's looking good. Down a half. Picking up some dust. Okay, engine stop. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The year was 1969. The pictures were broadcast live from TV Centre. To reflect on that and other momentous events, a man who's made a singular and important contribution to television, Sir David Attenborough. David, any particular memories of that day?
Well, it was an enormous event, of course, overtook the country, but overtook Television Centre too. We devoted, I think, 24 hours of television to it in the big studio. And it was thrilling. We cleared all the programmes. And, of course, the Americans had a reserve spacecraft ready, in case something went wrong with the first one. So a fortnight later, that one went off too. And I thought it was just the most thrilling thing, you see. And I was involved as a television director of programmes. So, cleared all the network again. A phone call somehow got through to my office. And it was a viewer. And he said, I must be the director of programmes. I said, yes. He said, well, where's the football? I said, there's a man walking on the moon. And he said, they're always walking on the moon.
You're, of course, I mean, when you look at this building, I mean, you're part of the actual planning and design of it, weren't you?
Yes, I was a director in Lime Grove down the road, and we, directors and producers, were invited to contribute ideas to the building and shaping of this centre.
You're responsible for that nude figure that was so controversial.
Oh, well, the Helios
The Helios figure, yes.
Naked gentleman.
Absolutely.
Golden naked gentleman representing the sun.
The sun.
Yeah. Well, he was a bit tricky. Because he's the top of a fountain, you know, which went all around the thing into the central bowl. And that made such a noise that nobody could hear. Yeah. So they had to turn off the fountain. That looked a bit silly, so they thought, right, we'd better put goldfish in it. And so they put goldfish in the fountain, but then they discovered that the way things are in Television Centre, the goldfish kept disappearing. That wasn't a success. So then they built another thing round the bottom, a pool, in which they can have water lilies. Unfortunately, they didn't bring the pool very well, because right underneath in the basement, that's where the videotape machines are. And when, in fact, people have to be fitted with umbrellas to hold over the videotape because the pool was leaking, they decided to pack it up. Now they put flowers in it.
But great memories and a great and special place that we're celebrating tonight. David Attenborough, thank you very much indeed. Speaking personally, whenever I think of magic moments at the TV Centre, I hear music.
I like the free, fresh wind in my hair.
without care. I'm broke, that's oak. Hey, California, it's cold and it's damp. That's why this lady is a tramp.
Said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonder-wall.
We'll go to Coney and eat bologna on a roll. In Central Park we stroll, where our first kiss we stole, soul to soul.
I know I've waited, know I've been blue, wait each night for someone exactly like you. Why should we spend money on a show or two? No one plays those love scenes exactly like you, exactly like you. Through with love, she offers me protection, a lot of love and affection, whether I'm right or wrong, down the waterfall, wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me. When I come to call, she won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead.
Let's now take a closer look at making it, at getting the big break with someone who knows, the actor Jeremy Irons.
It was a stage in my career when I'd come to London, I was beginning to do television.
Well, do you remember the actor who came in for a role?
A large ham roll and the athlete for runner beans.
And the librarian who hadn't booked.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved it, little sketches, you know.
I went straight to the fridge and opened the door, but I got an icy reception.
Bit of singing, bit of dancing. Great show it was, great show.
Feel fighting fresh with fella.
Very jokey. We weren't complete idiots.
Cut.
Who put the glue in the deodorant?
We were fairly idiotic, but not completely.
Now, I'd like to tell you something frightfully funny.
I say, where did you get that accent?
Eat an old sausage.
Oh, well, if you will eat an old sausage.
Oh, I'm only great on accents.
I beg your pardon?
I remember doing one sketch of a farmer.
They come in here and they took all of it.
I watched the sketch back and this farmer was talking and I thought he's the best travelled farmer I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't understand my bad fortune, you know.
He's been everywhere.
Well, it wasn't after the hay, you see.
You could tell that.
I hardly had a chance to shout, "Hey, come back," and there he was, gone.
Very fast tractor.
Ah, well. I'll have to sow some more.
Summer, winter, autumn, spring, inside or out.
We'd survive out of the little coffee bars around the place until we'd wrap the show and then we'd up to the bar and get rattled, really.
1, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Play away!
Now, live television can be an exhilarating experience for a presenter, unless things go wrong, and then, of course, it's grim. Especially if you're a footballer, newly recruited to television, learning the trade. And you're given grandstand to do on a day when everything that could go wrong does. Well, proving that there is life after professional death. Welcome, please, Gary Lineker. OK, so there you were, the TV centre here, minding your own business.
Yep.
Think of a nice job here. You just a bit of football and that. You know?
Well, I just started presenting, doing Football Focus. I'd done a few shows, and it was the day of the Grand National, and On that day, Des Lynam goes up to do the National and somebody else has to do Match of the Day, and I was going to do it, which I'd done once or twice before, so I wasn't particularly overly nervous about that. But of course it was the day that there were problems at the Grand National.
Let's see.
Well, clearly the situation there at Aintree is a very sad one indeed, so we've had to come back here. We can't give you any racing today. As soon as we hear anything from Aintree, we will, of course, let you know, but it did sound very clear from what the clerk of the course said that racing at Aintree this afternoon will be abandoned, and that means that there's no Grand National.
I mean, really, there's no programme either, isn't it? That's the problem.
Well, the funny thing is, I was just sitting there minding my own business, watching the football matches in the afternoon, and a chap came in, he said, have you heard about what's happened at Aintree? I said, no, what's it? He said, well, there's been a security alert, and they're evacuating everybody from the course. I go, oh, well. So he's gone, the problem is they're also evacuating Des. So somebody's got to present Grandstand, Gary. And I've gone, well, don't look at me. And he said, well, you've got to do it because we've got final score, I've got to get the results. Oh, I said, final score with that video printer thing? I said, better put a tie on. So, I couldn't think of anything else to say at the time.
Did one or two phrases, I mean, no autocue, nothing written.
No.
Did one or two phrases perhaps keep bobbing up?
I think it might have been a sad day. Well, it was to be a special day, the 150th running of the Grand National. It turned out to be a very sad day for sport in this country. Just to recap on the main news of the day, the Grand National meeting at Aintree has been abandoned following a security alert. Clearly very bad news. Well, clearly the situation there at Aintree is a very sad one indeed. A very sad day for sport. From all of us here at Grandstand, that's it. There'll be a news bulletin at 5:20. There I was, sat in the back, and you've got Bruce Forsyth and the two Ronnies and all these people, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing here with this lot? And now I know, they're brilliant and I'm just the ineptitude.
No, not at all.
Just demoralised.
No, that's marvellous. But was that, you've mentioned borrowing a tie, was that a suit you borrowed as well? Or?
No, what are you trying to say?
No, well,
I saw a few of your haircuts in the earlier clips.
The haircut, no. The haircut, that's special, that is. That's wonderful.
Same suit I've got on now, isn't it? It's not. I'll tell you one thing that I've learned. I would never follow Des Lynam again.
Gary Lineker, thank you very much indeed. Gary Lineker. Well, Gary, of course, can take heart. He's not the only person to fall foul of the live TV jinx. Here are some real beauties.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then you surely want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Mr. Branson, give us a progress report if you can.
I'm sorry, we seem to have lost that film. I was watching it on another monitor up there, but we obviously don't have it here. I'll find out what will happen in a moment.
The Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has addressed the nation, blaming the President and the Chief Justice for the constitutional crisis in Pakistan. Mr. Sharif will directly accuse the President of trying to destabilize the government.
That's international news. Now, World Business Day with Owen Thomas follows after the break.
One of the real enemies of the badger is they do bite as well.
Yes, I have noticed. Oh.
I'm sorry about this. This is one of the most... we do occasionally have problems. As you know, those of you who watch Panorama or have watched it for many years, when we lose film, we occasionally have problems when we lose VT. I've never, in my experience, had a problem when we have lost all our film and all our VTs, and I'm left sitting here. We don't even apparently have a standby film, which we sometimes have, about adult literacy. So I suppose we just sit in silence hope you stick with BBC One while we try and sort this out.
We should apologise to Councillor Neville Sanders there. When we described him on the screen in the caption as extreme right, we were not referring, of course, to his politics. We were actually referring to his position on the screen. It was an instruction for our camera people.
Good pull. Can't sit it at all. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Oh! Just get the fireman in.
Television is about moments, like movies or sport. It's the moments forever burned on the memory that count. This TV centre has manufactured more magic moments than most, and here are some of them.
4 candles. 4 candles. Here you are. 4 candles. No, 4 candles. Well, there you are, 4 candles. No, 4 candles. Handles for forks.
You're not going to win this war.
Oh, yes, we are.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yes, we are.
Whistle while you work. Hitler is at work. He's half army, so's his army. Whistle while you...
Your name will also go on the list. What is it?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Pike.
C, you're a cutie full of charm. J, you're like Jack and Jill. K, you're so kissable. A, you're adorable. C, 1, 2, the alphabet with you.
But what are we gonna do about him?
Hey, ooh.
I think we're on a winner here, Trig. All right? Play it nice and cool, son. Nice and cool, you know what I mean?
The disarray in the ranks of the unilateralists.
1 minute, Mr. Levin. Before you begin, it won't take a minute. Would you stand up a second? Mr. Levin, your review of savagery and the light was not a review.
Please,
it was a vicious attack.
Yes, it may well have been, but would you mind going back?
There's just one tiny thing to be done.
This parrot is no more. It has ceased to be. It's expired and gone to meet its maker. This is a late parrot.
Catchphrases are the verbal landmarks in the history of a building like the TV Centre. They recall the mood of the time they were invented in. Their use or abuse of the language defines how we are and the way we were.
Good evening, all.
Oh-ho! Nice to see you,
Nice.
You stupid little plonker.
You stupid boy. A little bit wee, a little bit wee. Careful, you know what I mean?
Okay. I didn't get where I am today without having a little champagne, not too much, just enough.
We really want to see those fingers.
Really want to see those fingers.
I'm free. I'm free.
I'm free.
Which was nice.
He's from Barcelona.
In bingo-lingo, clickety-clicks, it's time to take your pick of the 6.
Blankly blank checkbook and pen.
Now to me, nudge, nudge. Now to me, say no more, now to me.
They do not like it up 'em. They don't like it up 'em.
Language, Timothy.
Heavy! No, I don't believe it.
I have a cunning plan. I shall say this only once.
Some folly, darling.
Fall down in the best possible taste.
Now for something completely different.
Suit you, sir. Suit you.
Good night from me, and it's good night from him.
10 of nightmares, do sleep well. Good night.
And that's it. Thank you for watching and joining in the 40th birthday celebrations of the TV Centre. What we've seen here tonight, I think, celebrates the truth of Bill Cotton's dictum that the purpose of this television factory was to make the good popular and the popular good. With that, thank you very much indeed for watching, and we'll bid you good night. Or as we say in the TV Centre, when the mood is upon us, kissy kissy.
The year's getting old, but the night's still young. Party on with BBC One. Details on the way.
Oh, they're back! Welcome home. How was it then?
Fantastic.